Colorado's fentanyl overdose crisis is leading to some agreement in the legislature that the state needs stronger punishment for drug dealers, more money for drug treatment. But the debate is over whether drug users deserve felony charges for fentanyl. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger has stepped out of this discussion that is expected to go past midnight tonight. Marshall?
You know, when it comes to legislative committees, Kyle, sometimes, most of the time, we know the result before the committee even starts. This one, I can't quite place because you've got Democrats perhaps at odds with each other over that topic of should possession of fentanyl lead to criminal penalties, which currently it is not a felony to possess fentanyl fewer than 4 grams. Law enforcement, lawmakers, doctors, and parents, a topic difficult for all to agree.
In July of 2021, I lost my only 2 sons to fentanyl poisoning.
I come to you today to tell you I was almost another statistic of fentanyl poisoning.
This was the start of today's debate on a fentanyl bill that will strengthen penalties for dealing fentanyl, provide immunity from certain punishment for people who report overdoses even if they supplied the drug, and create a prevention and education campaign. As of right now, it will not refelonize simply possessing fentanyl in amounts fewer than 4 grams.
What we are trying to do with this bill is ensure that those who survive a fentanyl poisoning or overdose are not just thrown into incarceration, but get access to the treatment that they deserve and need.
Democratic State Representative Leslie Herod is not normally on this committee. She was picked to fill in for another lawmaker, which might signal what Democratic bill sponsor and House Speaker Alec Garnett does and does not want this bill to become.
No one introduced a possession bill. No one before session, before we met all of our legislative deadlines, came forward and said, this is such an important issue, I have to introduce a bill.
The issue of criminalizing possession of any amount of fentanyl will take up much of this debate.
There is a role for law enforcement to play here, and it's one that would save lives. Make this a felony at any level.
Isn't incarceration one mechanism that's going to save lives because we're not out there creating more new users?
There's no data to show that incarceration works to decrease new users.
This panel of doctors focused on support and treatment rather than additional criminal penalties.
Among the innumerable reasons to oppose this bill, the primary is that the best scientific evidence doesn't support it.
That drew an outburst from someone in the front row.
Nobody wants fentanyl, you idiot.
To the gentleman that yelled at me earlier, you're absolutely right. No one wants fentanyl. We need more resources.
Regardless of what happens with this bill, if it gets changed or not, the resources will likely be part of whatever comes out of this committee. And Kyle, if this committee does not change it so that possession of any amount becomes a felony, which law enforcement wants, when it goes to that room in the House chambers in the corner over there for full debate of the House, it could change there, even if the committee doesn't do it tonight.
Marshall, with all of the talk about making this a focus with the recent rash of overdose deaths, is there any chance that the bill fails tonight and that's the end of the discussion for the session?
You've got the House Speaker sponsoring the bill, so I have a feeling when the top Democrat of the House puts his name on it, it's going to come out one way or another. And I'll point out that with Representative Herod being substituted onto this committee because another lawmaker is preparing for surgery and she does not want possession to be criminalized, I think that signals they've got perhaps the support to get it through without doing that.
All right. We will be watching through the night. Marshall, thank you. So part of the issue is that fentanyl is cheap to make. It's easy to smuggle into the U.S. Adams County Sheriff's Office announced today it seized almost 60,000 fentanyl pills in a single bust. They're not releasing the names of the people arrested, saying this is a wider investigation with the DEA that continues.